Brannon, thank you for hanging out with us today. THV 11 Plus. We're also streaming on YouTube and Facebook this afternoon. We want to give you a rundown as to what we can expect for the rest of the day, as we do have a weather impact alert in effect for southeastern Arkansas. That includes the Pine Bluff area down to Monticello over toward Union County and El Dorado. I'm going to break everything down for you, what we're expecting here today, and maybe even give you a glimpse into the future. I don't want to get ahead of the severe weather threat and talk about snow and ice that we expect next week. Right now it looks like it's going to be a minor system, but today we want to make sure you're prepared because severe weather happens pretty much any time here in the state. Sometimes we get it in February. And if you're joining us on YouTube or Facebook, here's a good plan for you. If you have a smart TV at home, if you have Apple, Roku, Amazon Prime, download the THV 11 Plus app. It's free for your TV. And you can stream along with us on days that we have bad weather. You can take your phone, make sure you have THV 11 app on your phone, take it into your safe place. So with that in mind, let's begin and talk about what we're expecting today. Again, it's a weather impact alert. We issue these when we're going to, of course, have impactful weather conditions, nuisance weather, disruptive weather, and that does include severe weather. So here's what's at stake today. For central and southern Arkansas, southeast Arkansas, we've got the timeline of about noon to 8 o'clock, maybe a little before, maybe a little after. Here it is 12:30. There are no watches or warnings in Arkansas yet, but I think that's going to change in the afternoon hours. All modes of severe weather are possible today, and I'll give you that rundown in just a moment. Flash flood watch also in effect, and I think generally for the Little Rock area, it's going to be some very heavy rainfall, and flash flood potential is high for the rest of the afternoon this afternoon. So that's our weather impact alert for today, lasting through 8 o'clock tonight. Now, activity has been pretty heavy at times over central Arkansas. This is our live radar picture with the heaviest precipitation extending from Garland County, Saline, western Pulaski County through Cleburne County. There have been some flashes of lightning along with thunder, so thunderstorms are occurring. Not much is going on in southeast Arkansas for good reason, of which I'll show you in just a moment. There's a boundary here, a stationary front that's lined up just south of Pine Bluff, and that boundary is going to turn into a warm front and slowly lift to the north this afternoon. Maybe you've heard us talk about it before. Thunderstorms, especially supercell thunderstorms, like to develop along boundaries. I think this afternoon it's going to be primarily a line. It's within that line, these embedded eddies, these brief tornadoes that will develop within that line over the southeastern part of the state. And what's going to initiate this is a line that's still out in western Arkansas and southeast Oklahoma. So we have a ways to go this afternoon. And in case you're wondering, we're going to be back at 3:30 as well on THV 11 Plus, and we'll break into programming. And the way that's going to work today, since we have some paid programming and golf, I'll break in for the counties of southeast Arkansas on the main channel. We'll give you the warning, tell you who's involved, and then we'll invite you to join us on THV 11 Plus, Facebook, and YouTube for the rest of the afternoon. So there's live radar. You're probably getting some pretty heavy rainfall if you're within the central part of the state. Good time to review your severe weather plan. Make sure you've got your shelter ready to go in case you need it. Important papers, something to put over your head, include blankets and pillows if need be, and go to the centermost part of your home and make sure that you stay away from windows. If you've got an interior bathroom with one of those old cast iron tubs, that will certainly be perfect. I'm not expecting a widespread outbreak of tornadoes, but some damaging wind gusts are certainly possible. Again, no watches in effect for the natural state, and there are no warnings at this time. I'm waiting to see what the Storms Prediction Center kicks out here shortly. If they do, some type of watch will be issued today. They'll send out what's called a mesoscale forecast discussion, and they'll indicate who is going to be involved with that. That's typically where you find the greatest threat of strong to severe weather. In fact, just now the National Weather Service just issued an afternoon thunderstorm update, and we're going to begin to see storms fire up next 2 to 3 hours over south central Arkansas where that boundary is located. So that's fresh from the National Weather Service, and they coordinate with the Storms Prediction Center. Current temperatures, you may be thinking, man, here in Little Rock, it's in the 40s. It's too cold for severe weather. Well, it can be. until this feature, a stationary frontal boundary, which separates colder air to the north and more warm, unstable air to the south, until that boundary lifts a little farther to the north. And it's expected to do so today. And because of this boundary and the prospects of where the juiciest air mass is, you've got all the ingredients, moisture lift, instability, some wind shear. This is where the greatest threat of severe weather is located. So you've got 47 in Mountain Home, 75 in El Dorado. Again, southeast Arkansas has the best threat of severe weather, and we have a threat of flash flooding and a strong storm or two here in the central part of the state. You've heard us talk about storm fuel before, or CAPE. It's the available potential energy that we have in the atmosphere, and at this time, it is over southeast Arkansas. This is where you find all the instability and the necessary means for storms. I'm going to walk you through the afternoon and show you that it lines up with that line of storms moving into Arkansas. So this is this afternoon at 1 o'clock. And as we head through the afternoon, we begin to see it spread upwards, northward. That's an indication that boundary is lifting a little farther to the north as surface low pressure develops. 3 o'clock, still over the southeastern part of the state. We begin to see it move by late afternoon, and by news time tonight, we should begin to see it get out of the central part of Arkansas and our viewing area more into the Memphis viewing area, the Jackson, even the Greenville viewing area in extreme southeast Arkansas. By 9 o'clock, the storm threat should be over with here in Arkansas. And this is our severe weather risk for the afternoon. We've been talking about it the last several days, and the Prediction Center will kick these things out 4 or 5 days ahead of time if they see that there's a pretty good potential. And I realize it's February. We have had tornado outbreaks in February before. And again, I'm not expecting that here today, but I am expecting some damaging wind gusts and the possibility of a few tornadoes. This lines up with where the greatest potential energy for storms to feed therein lies, and that's over southeast Arkansas. The greatest threat of severe weather, Stuttgart, Pine Bluff, Camden, Monticello, McGee, places like that in southeast Arkansas. We're at a slight risk of severe weather, the eastern part of Little Rock to Arkadelphia, down to Texarkana, northward to the south of Jonesboro. And still, we could see a thunderstorm. Again, I think the heaviest threat of rain is going to be over western and northern Arkansas this afternoon, and as that boundary pushes to the east and ignites activity along that stationary front, that's where the severe threat will be located. So here is at risk, and we'll break it down again. The Storms Prediction Center says, hey, there's enough there that we could have a strong tornado this afternoon, an EF2 or possibly stronger in that hatched area. Strong tornado possible in that orange enhanced area, and that's all the way back to Pine Bluff. So that's probably the main concern, as well as damaging straight line winds of 75 plus miles per hour. Up in the upper levels of the atmosphere, you've got some strong winds that will come overhead. That's really going to help to get these storms going, and that wind will translate down to the surface as some straight line winds. So wind and the possibility of a tornado, although we can't rule out hail up to quarter size or hail at all. So those are the modes of severe that we're expecting. Again, all of them are on the table. Sometimes these things don't work out. I, for one, would be very happy if it did not come to fruition. I don't like to see folks with property damage or worse. So let's hope this doesn't pan out and we get enough rain to help stabilize the atmosphere. But as it is currently, southeast Arkansas has yet to receive any rain, and it's rather warm and unstable over that part of the state. Storm impacts in central Arkansas, we got two different ones here, central and southern Arkansas, very different. For us, it's wind 60 to 70, minimal threat of dime to quarter sized hail. The flooding threat here is in the medium category. Let's face it, we're saturated outside. Any more rain, heavy at times, could pose a flooding threat for central Arkansas. And that also is toward the north central and northeastern part of the state. Our tornado threat here is on the minimal end, but in southeast Arkansas, again, it's going to be a little bit different for those folks, and the risks are a little higher. Damaging wind in the medium category, upwards to about 80 miles per hour. We could have some large hail. Flash flooding is a possibility, and we go from minimal threat to a low end threat with a supercell thunderstorm possible, those discrete individual cells out ahead of a line. But we could also have a brief tornado embedded within that line as it develops and moves to the east-southeast. And again, the timing of this is really now through 8 o'clock tonight. If the line slows down a bit, it could be 9, but I'm going noon to 8, and then we should see that threat end for the state. Let's talk about the rainy side of things. Again, we've had a lot of rain here in Arkansas. Flood alerts are there. We have flash flood watches in effect from Arkadelphia, or from north of Arkadelphia to Hot Springs, Pine Bluff, and that extends northward into Jonesboro. There are also some warnings over in northeast Arkansas that extend into Tennessee. We're going to see the training effect. Storms, as they move to the east, will continue to develop and rain over the places, same places we've had rain once again since last night. Rain picked up last evening for your Valentine's Day. It just kept going. And those showers and storms continue to persist this afternoon in the same areas. So flooding is also of major concern. All right, from there, let's take a look once again at live radar. And our radar summary does show rain occurring in those areas. There's also some flashes of lightning, some thunderstorm activity. We've had some heavier downpours here in Little Rock area. If you've been out on the roadways, weather impact alert for heavy rain could have been issued today with folks being out and about traveling our main highways and interstates. And you see that activity, it reaches down into central Arkansas from western Saline County, Perry through Faulkner up to Cleburne and Independence County. That's the way things look now. It's currently 1240, and we're going to begin to see this line. There it is. This is the line that's going to initiate the activity over southern Arkansas and create some problems for us this afternoon. So as that line moves to the east, it's going to tap into that warm, moist, unstable air. This boundary will begin to push into that, and that's where things will begin to ignite later this afternoon, probably around 2, 3 o'clock, the timeline for that. We put it into motion for you. We'll take a little bit of a radar loop, and I'll even zoom in a little bit for some areas in central Arkansas. It's been a rather wet morning, and you can see that it's just been raining showers and thunderstorms over and over and over again over the same corridor, I-30 corridor. That's central Arkansas. In north central Arkansas, not to be outdone, let's go up here to Rosebud, Heber, Bee Branch. Yeah, you folks are also getting some fairly moderate to heavy showers and storms at times. Get a little dryness there in the back of the throat. The rain and thunder will persist this afternoon. It begins to pick up a little bit. And again, I think our atmosphere is fairly stable in central Arkansas. I'm more concerned about what's going to happen over the southeastern part of the state where not much has been going on today. So they've got a fairly long way to go. If you live in Pine Bluff and Whitehall, Star City, DeWitt, Arkansas County, down to Monticello, over to Hampton, Fordyce, Camden, your threat is going to go up later today. Again, it's good to have that plan, that severe weather plan in place and have as many ways to receive severe weather information this afternoon as you possibly can. Let's put it all into motion. 2 o'clock this afternoon, they're still scattered about. Really haven't started to line up just yet. Keep an eye on that southwest flank of thunderstorms from Arkadelphia down to Texarkana as it begins to line up. This is by 5 o'clock. We're getting close to news time tonight. There could be an intense line of severe thunderstorms moving through this area of the state that could produce some strong wind gusts, possibly a tornado. The severe threat begins to lessen as you get up toward Hot Springs, Russellville, Clinton, and Mountain Home. Here in Little Rock, our severe weather threat will probably be over with by 5 o'clock. And then a little while longer, 7 o'clock tonight, that line edging to the east-southeast. Within that line, strong winds, possibly a tornado, something we'll have to keep a very close eye on. A very dynamic system at that. Once you get the line out of the way, I do want to pay attention to what happens on the back side of this for the northern counties as a little backlash wintry precipitation occurs on the backside of this very strong storm system moving away. I don't think it's going to reach into central Arkansas, but can't rule out a dusting to maybe a half an inch or so over those northern 2 rows of counties. So we get severe to the south, and we get the chance of having some snow to the north, and then we open up the door to having the possibility of more next week. Current timing of the storms as they move through your region today, from noon to 3 o'clock over western Arkansas. Here we are, 12:45 this afternoon. Then from 2 to 7 begins to move over south central and central Arkansas. The timing range may fluctuate a bit, and then from 4 to 9 over the southeast. If it picks up speed a little bit, it'll be out of here a lot quicker. Again, and we've got the shade of orange and yellow for the highest threat of severe weather here in Arkansas this afternoon. It's just best to be prepared. Make sure you have your plan in place. We get out of this, and I just do want to briefly mention that next week we'll be turning our attention to the chance of rain and possibly some wintry precipitation Tuesday, Wednesday next week. You know, we start talking about these things way out ahead of time to make sure that you can prepare, but a presence of mind. The risk this afternoon is really what I'm most concerned about at this point, and I'll be here this afternoon, of course, and Symone Thomas will also break into coverage if it's absolutely necessary. And if you're just joining us today, Tom Brannon giving you a severe weather update. And for those of you joining us on YouTube or joining us on Facebook, if you have a smart TV and you have access to Prime, to Roku, or Apple TV Plus, you can download our THV11 Plus app. It's a free app, and you can stream other programs that we have on THV11. Nathan Scott has this fabulous program that he does called Weatherwise, and he does it every Tuesday. He has great topics. He'll talk anything from severe weather to snow to astronomy, if that's your thing. You can stream this information anytime, day or night, and we'll also have live weather updates on the THV11 Plus app. It's a free download for your television. And let's say right now, you know, Tom, I don't have a smart TV. Now, let me tell you something. You're getting to that point where how do you do this stuff? Well, I think we've got a way that shows you how to do it online as well. But if you don't and you've got severe weather in your area, THV11 app, if you hit watch now, then you will be able to stream what we're covering at that point in time. Again, it's all about keeping you safe and keeping you up to date and informed. Let's run through everything one more time. If you're just joining us, we do have a threat of severe weather in Arkansas today. We have a weather impact alert day today for the possibility of flash flooding here in central Arkansas and strong to severe thunderstorms over the southeastern part of the state. Our neighbors to the south could have a very active afternoon. Some damaging wind is possible. Even a brief tornado cannot be ruled out this afternoon. Don't have any watches or warnings to talk about, but radar does show precipitation is to the north and west of Little Rock. We've had it here over the downtown area, southeast Arkansas. They haven't had much at all. They may actually have a few breaks in those areas, and that's just adding to the instability factor for the afternoon hours. Make sure you have your plan in place. Centermost part of your home, lowest level of your home. Get it ready just in case. I'm not saying you're going to need it, but it's always good to be prepared. Severe weather season is right around the corner here, folks. No watches or warnings are in effect right now. That is going to change. In fact, let me take a break. I'm going to look at see if the Storms Prediction Center is talking about kicking out a mesoscale discussion. Not yet. That's good news, but it could be that our atmosphere is just not ready. It's just not there yet. But this afternoon, after 2 or 3 o'clock, it'll begin to light up a bit. A lot of it's going to depend on this boundary. It's a stationary front. Again, look at the numbers. 76 in Mountain Home. I'm sorry, 76 in Monticello. It's 47 up in Mountain Home. South of this boundary is where everything is ready to go. This boundary lifts to the north, should be moving through Pine Bluff in the next hour, and the line of storms to the west is going to interact with that, and that's where our severe threat is going to take place. So southeast Arkansas, you have the greatest ingredients for severe weather. In terms of storm fuel, this too lines up with the southeastern part of Arkansas and that enhanced risk of severe weather. That's what's showing up in southeast Arkansas through the afternoon hours. It should be finished with us by about 8 o'clock tonight. We'll get that out of the way. Things will calm down. They get a little bit of snow up in northern Arkansas. The risk of severe weather, let's take it one at a time. Marginal threat for a good part of central Arkansas up to Jonesboro down to Hot Springs for a thunderstorm. Heavy rain, flash flooding. Level 2 out of 5. And that area in yellow there, that is just to the south of Little Rock, but includes places like Lone Oak, upwards to Augusta in Woodruff County. And then southeast Arkansas from West Memphis, Stuttgart, Camden, Pine Bluff, Whitehall, El Dorado. That's where the greatest threat of strong to severe thunderstorms is located. I hit the wrong button on that. And I'll tell you this, if you get pictures of hail for us this evening, you can text those along to 501-376-1111. I don't know why that did that, but I'm going to take you back up to the impact board here and give you an idea of what you can expect this afternoon. And with severe weather threat here in Arkansas, twofold. Here in central Arkansas, flash flooding with a strong thunderstorm. It's been raining off and on pretty much all morning long. But this is what we're expecting later today. A brief tornado cannot be ruled out. A strong tornado, an EF2, is considered a strong tornado. So if these storms produce tornadoes, they could be strong and they could track for a distance, not only with those discrete individual cells, but within that line as it comes together and moves to the southeast. Hail up to quarter-sized and wind 60 to 80 miles per hour. Even stronger wind gusts than that are possible as this line moves through. That's going to cause some roofing damage, going to probably down some trees, and with the saturated nature of the ground here in central Arkansas, I'm sure they've received a lot in southern Arkansas. That could cause some issues, trees being blown down on power lines and homes. Let's hope that's not the case. So that's our severe weather outlook for the day. We've got the flood watch in effect. Storm impacts this afternoon for central Arkansas, primarily heavy rain for southeast Arkansas. It's going to be inched up a bit. We've got the possibility of large hail, flooding, and of course the tornado. That goes up a bit. Medium, the damaging wind aspect in southeast Arkansas. And the flash flood watch that remains in effect for counties Jefferson County, Cleveland, Lincoln County, Dallas County, north all the way into northeastern Arkansas. We've had a lot of rain again over the last 24 hours. So we're picking up the rain, and that's going to be our main threat. All right, 12:50 is our time. Again, thank you for joining me for this little weather chat. We'll do it again at 3:30. We may have storms in Arkansas by that time, but you can catch us on THV 11 Plus, that free download for the television, YouTube and Facebook. If we have tornado warnings this afternoon, we'll be breaking into programming. I will try to be as conscientious as I can with the aspects of having sports or even a paid program here at THV 11, but we will be on THV 11 Plus. If we have severe weather and tornado warned storms, this is where you will find us, and also on YouTube and Facebook. I'm going to take a break from here. I don't anticipate any warnings in the next hour, but long about 3:30, we may begin to see those storms pop in the southeastern part of the state. Thank you for joining me. I will see you once again at 3:30 this afternoon.